Hello, 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 and welcome to another vinyl haul. This is Bub, your host of Bub's World. Hey, what do you think of that? And let's get right to it and already recognize all our viewers here who have been waiting for this fine chat to come. We got Las Cruces 1971 saying hooray, and he even stuck around for the opening. So welcome from New Mexico. Glad you can make it. And then we have Chris Barrett in the house. Any Tom Jones, REO Speedwagon, or The Who? Now, if I answer that with a no, are you going to leave? But if I answer it with a maybe, will you stay? So I'm going to go with maybe. Did I win? Yes. Las Cruces wins the no prize, heavily contended by Chris Barrett. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. And anybody else going to watching the rewind and people as they trickle in. Huge time for me with vinyl these last couple weeks. Now, I had said I wasn't going to be picking any up, so I guess I should learn to cross my fingers and my legs and my toes better than that. But what's been happening was that I had a con that's coming up this next week, and that convention I really wanted to make sure that I had plenty of liquid cash for that convention. So Joey Bags is trickling in. That's no surprise, Joey Bags. Good to have you. So I was wanting to hold off on picking up 2-inch vinyl. Of course, immediately after saying that 2 weeks ago, I went out and I went to Peddler's Mall and I picked up one record. And then that next weekend, we ended up finding ourselves at another little shop, and we, bought some stuff. Then this past weekend, I went to a flea market in Kentucky. So this is like a couple of times a year they do a big flea market in the area. It's in Louisville, actually, Louisville, Kentucky, and they take over like one of the convention centers, and it's a big, huge, sprawling indoor flea market. So that was this past Saturday for Labor Day. They do it every few times a year. And this is my first time going. I've often wanted to go, but I was a little skeptical about what kind of things they would have and would they have comics or anything like that. But because I figured this year, look, my collecting has broadened quite a bit, and there's a lot of different things that I pick up. Hello, Agu. Good to see you. A lot of new things that I collect. And my wife was looking for an antique clock. So with her looking for an antique clock, I was like, hey, let's go see, because they had a whole selection just for antiques. Hey, Chad of Fishcat Comics, Fishcat Collectibles, you guys need to sub this fella up. He is on a push to get a few more subs, and boy, does he deserve them. If you like modern comic hauls, this guy right here, really one of the few that I actually watch. To be fair, for Wednesday hauls, I watch what Chad's picking up, because he's real honest about the runs that he's collecting and whether he appreciates them currently or whether they're good. A lot of people just, if they bought it, they say, I bought it and it was great and I can't wait to get the next one. But if he bought it and it wasn't so great, he lets you know. So I appreciate that. All right. So here's what's going on. We went there. And we looked for the magic clock for my wife. She didn't find it, but boy, did I score on comics and vinyl. I'll have the comics in a haul video, a traditional haul video that I'll be doing. Thanks for that, Agu. I assume that's Chad's, but we don't really know. So I'll have the comics in a haul video traditionally, and then I'll have the vinyl tonight. So I like to do these live, and I like to do them just with all the fun we can have. So let's take a little sip and we'll get to the haul. Fantastic. All right, so first, the one that I picked up at the local Peddler's Mall, which is basically an indoor flea market where the vendors don't attend their own booths. So you just show up, you pick up what you want, you go to the front counter, and then you pay for it, and then mark it off the list with the booth number. So first off, we picked up Rock Menu Hot Platter of Chrysalis Hits. So Chrysalis is, of course, a record label. And this one looks pretty decent. Says here, I'll read you off who's on there, what songs, and what's going on. It says $4. I couldn't get the sticker off because they actually put it on the album jacket. That's obnoxious. And these bags are some kind of Mylar-esque, Mylite type bags that I picked up. to put them in. So if you're wondering, some of them are in them, some of them aren't. I have just a few left, and I haven't decided who's going to get them yet. And also, I'm running out of these, and I'm already running out of inner sleeves, which apparently, just like with comics, my lights and plastic type stuff and paper products are all in short supply. So everywhere you go, places are running out. You got to order online, and of course, that's costing you more. So rock menu, hot platters of Christmas hits with Heart and Soul by Huey Lewis and the News, Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar, Change by John White, We Close Our Eyes by Go West, Dancing with Tears in My Eyes by Ultravox, and Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol. So of those, I only knew 3 of those songs, and of those 3 were the only good ones. So, and on side B, we have Call Me by Blondie, Every Time I Think of You by The Babies, Hot Child in the City by Nick Gilder, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing by Leo Sayers, another great one, Mickey by Tony Basil, or Basil, and Living in the Past by Jethro Tull. So the side B was a little bit better, and it had a few more songs that I knew. But basically, all the songs that I knew were good, and all the songs I didn't know, not so good. So that was my take on this, but all playable. And when you get stuff at a flea market, you never know if that's going to be the case. You can check it. You can be sure. Sometimes, so no, but he might make an appearance on a variety of hits. So stay tuned. Don't give up just yet. Okay. So next we went to a shop. Let me see if I got the sticker. It's called Mellow Mats in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I had gone, if you watched a comic haul that I put out last week, I talked about trading 70 books for 1 book. And so just down the road from that shop, after I had already traded those off, I continued down the road and we stopped at a vinyl shop that my wife had not been to before. This was my second time going, so I was excited to see how it was going to go. So it's not unusual. That's very true. Look, you got me. Anyway, we're going to start it right off. As soon as I walked in, I saw this album on the wall and I snagged it, and now it's mine. So it's the Rolling Stones Through the Past Darkly Big Hits Volume 2. Volume 1 is pretty good too, but I don't have it yet. So we have on here, this is one of those everyone's favorite unnecessary gatefold. So let's check that out. So there's your unnecessary gatefold action. And the reason we say it's unnecessary is because there is only 1 album in here, 1 disc, standard black vinyl. And so let's read off the hits on this one. I assume they're all on front. So we have Honky Tonk Woman. Let's see, Ruby Tuesday, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Paint It Black, Street Fightin' Man, Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Standing in the Shadow, Let's Spend the Night Together, 2,000 Light Years from Home, Mother's Little Helper. I like that one a lot. She's a Rainbow, and Dandelion. So, Scanner Darkly. No, not that Scanner Darkly. So there you go. And it's pretty cool. It has these cut corners to the album, which I don't know that I've ever seen that before. It's okay. It kind of holds the disc okay inside. I'm not a huge fan of it because it gives you less room on the spine to see what the the information on the spine, because it's so small. But other than that, not bad. And again, the unnecessary gatefold. So some great songs on here. Am I collecting Rolling Stones greatest hits type stuff? I will at first. There'll probably be more down the line that I collect that are, traditional studio albums. But for now, this will work. So glad to have that. And then started going through the back issues. This was high on my list. And we have Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers. I know you guys are big on the bulge. So there you go. Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers. And this also has the unnecessary gatefold. Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So let me explain to you what this... I remember this album before. Do androids dream of electric sheep? I would say yes. Yes. but instead of jumping over fences, it's probably firewalls. The Stones album had good selection. Yeah, it was pretty decent. I agree. This is a regular studio album, my favorite studio album by the Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers, and it has a traditional, regular old black disc, but it has the Stones label on it. Don't think it had anything on the jacket either. So I recall this one, and it has this perforated line here and an actual working zipper. So if you guys are big fans of that, let me know. So anyway, the point of this album that's so bad, okay, is a zipper. So the zipper is real. So you can see that if you hold it out, it's like raised up, and it has that metal edge right there, and it absolutely damages this record. So if you ever see this in like a yard sale or anything, and it's been pushed up against other records, the record in front of it's damaged, and the record itself is damaged. So the disc actually has a bunch of indentations where over time it has been kept and was hitting the edge of, it's hard to see it like this, but you can see how warped it is. So this sucker is pretty bad warped, and it barely plays. So we have on side one, we have Brown Sugar, Sway, Wild Horses, Can't You Hear Me Knocking, and You Gotta Move, which is one of my favorite songs of the Stones. On side two, you have Pardon Me, Bitch. You got I Got the Blues, which is another great song. Sister Morphine, Dead Flowers, and Moonlight Mile, which is another fan. This whole album, absolutely my favorite album of the Rolling Stones, and high contention of one of my favorite albums all time. Hey, Perry, good to see you, brother. Yes. And Art Chemist snuck in here too. Hey, what's up, guy? What's going on? All right. So here's a story on this one. This one was real bad warped. I tried to press it, and because it was unplayable. But the guy that I bought it from basically gave it to me for free because he said it was warped, it was messed up. Oh, and I forgot to show you this. So this used to be all sealed on these three. Well, this is the spine, so that's always sealed. But down at the bottom and on the side was always sealed. But someone just had to see what was behind that zipper, and they ripped it apart. And there's a little Andy Warhol picture for you there. Congratulations to all you who stuck around for that. But it used to be that was sealed, and the only way you could see it would be to like peek over the top. So undo the zipper and peek in. So which was cooler than having it ripped off. So I'll have to fix that. And also the zipper just destroyed the record inside and will destroy other records. So I have to be real careful where I keep it. So I tried to press the record to get it to flatten out, and it worked. I pressed it flat, but now it has kind of I got it a little too hot, and so it melted a little bit of the record. So it has kind of a hiss to it, and it lowered the overall volume because it squashed some of the grooves. So you can still hear the music. I actually still have played it several times because I love the album so much, but I have to turn it up pretty high, and you hear kind of a hiss in the background when there's no music going on. So it is what it is. Still on the lookout for a playable copy, a perfect copy of this record. This jacket's not bad, though, compared to some of the ones I've seen, and we'll go from there. And I may get a reprint of that one just so it's perfect because I love that album so much. All right. Next up, we got Leonard Skinner, Gold and Platinum. So Leonard Skinner Band. My only problem with this one is that it has some live versions, and I thought I would like it better. Very nice. Thank you. I thought I would like it better, but I didn't end up liking it so much because it has some of the live versions. So the ones that are studio releases, I think are good. It is a double LP set with a nice little drawing on the inside. Check that out. So let's see. And standard, black vinyl. So it says Down South Junkin' or Down South Jukin'. Sorry about that. Saturday Night Special. Give me 3 steps. What's your name? You got that right. Give me back my bullets. Sweet Home Alabama. Free Bird. That Smell. On the Hunt. I Ain't the One. Whiskey Rockarola. Simple Man. I know a little. Tuesday's Gone and Coming Home. So there's some classic stuff Hey, Dave Collects. How's it going? Let's see. Art Chemist says, check something out. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Let's see. Art Chemist is saying, check out a link. I don't know if it posted. I'll have to check it afterwards. What did I say? Sweet Home Carolina? Sweet Home Alabama? Who knows what I said? Alex, you remember that vinyl. So the only problem with this gold and platinum collection is that they'll sneak in. And the reason why I say sneak in is because you don't see anything here that mentions that some of these are live versions. Nor on the inside does it say any of them are live. So, of course, it would have been sealed at the time. And then when you open it up, it will say on the actual disc that some of them are live. And does it even? Because I know Freebird's live. No, it doesn't. So it doesn't even say that they're the live versions on the disc. That's a little obnoxious. This album, it happens to work pretty well, but I much prefer them to be the studio recordings versus the live ones. So that was a bit of a disappointment. So I may still get a best of Leonard Skinner album or something like that, or pick up a couple of the regular albums. I don't know. This next one is one of my all-time favorite albums. Again, I know I say that a lot, but this haul is filled with favorite albums. So just get used to that. Now, this record store also, this Mellow Mats, they had these stickers on all of them, price stickers, but they come off lickety-split, no problem, leave no residue, so I really appreciate that. So we got J. Giles Band, Freeze Frame, and let's see. On this one, we have Freeze Frame, Rage in the Cage, Centerfold, Do You Remember When, Insane Again, Flamethrower, River Blindness, Angel in Blue, and Piss on the Wall. Fantastic. I love this album. All of it is good. So, hey, what's going on? Good to see you, Christina. Yes, Angel is my centerfold. Third song on here. Fantastic album. So if you're familiar with J. Giles Band, you know that prior to this album, they were kind of a funk and blues kind of rhythm band, some blue-eyed soul in there, but pretty good stuff. But very generic kind of 70s jam band music. Not bad. Any one of those albums, you listen to it, it's fine. But if you listen to more of it, they all sound the same. J. Giles wasn't even his name. Good point. So what happened is that over time, they switched to this sound, which was more of an electronic sound kind of for the, I think it was for the 80s. So this is 1981 album. So it switched to this type of music. And then they put out a couple of albums with this type of music, and the band split up because most of the band wanted to play funk blues, and they couldn't play in with this band because this album became hugely popular, and the follow-up album to this one was also hugely popular. So people wanted to hear that, and they didn't want to hear the blues funk stuff. And so that kind of fell by the wayside. The band broke up, and they put out some more albums, but never re-achieved the popularity of this one in the follow-up. So there you go. J. Giles Band. I'll show you the back if I hadn't shown it. Check that out. Very nice. Let's see if they did have an inner sleeve with something on it. It's the first one we've had so far. So it has that there. And then it also has the lyrics on the other side, which I always appreciate. But I can tell you right now, I know every word to every song on this album. So, there goes Hulk, just went for a dive. So we don't need him in this video anyway. So there you go. All right, next up, we got, to move Hulk, another one of my all-time, J. Giles is dead. I guess the lead singer is dead, probably. That makes sense. Another one of my all-time favorite albums, and this one plays perfectly, no problems. Very, 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 very happy to get it. And it's Supertramp, Breakfast in America. One of the best albums ever made, in my opinion. Again, and you'll hear me say it a lot in this haul because it is just true. I just absolutely, absolutely love so many albums in this haul. I thought about splitting it between two hauls, and I just was so excited to show you guys some of these that I couldn't hold back. So this one has Gone Hollywood, The Logical Song, Goodbye Stranger, Breakfast in America, and Oh Darling. Take the Long Way Home, Lord, Is It Mine, and Just Another Nervous Wreck, Casual Conversation, and Childhood Vision. And just a super cool album. And I got to tell you, they make a copy of this that is a picture disc. I have multiple copies exactly. It's so good, isn't it? So good. So I'm probably going to get another copy of this with they have a picture disc version, and I think I want that too. Sometimes if it's your favorite album, you just got to do what you got to do, right, buddy? So let's see. This one did not have generic paper. It has another fine. Look at that. Of course, the bottom's sticking out a little bit. So this will be one that I replace. Actually, what I do is I get just a master sleeve, and I put those in there, and then I include this in there, but I don't wrap the disc in it anymore. So there you go, and it has some of the lyrics on there, and the rest of the lyrics on the B side. So great stuff there. Fantastic album. I can't recommend it enough. Joey Bag of Sevens can't recommend it enough, and so that's what we're going with. This is one of the best albums ever made, in my opinion. For me, I love it. Love that Batgirl on the Wall, Bub. I assume you mean this one. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good morning, Martin, with a Y. Good to have you. All right. So let's see what else we got. We got The Police, Synchronicity, which has got those weird top loading ones. I actually don't mind the top loading. If all records were top loading, I would like it better. But since they're not all top loading, this presents a problem for storage. But in any case, actually, I'm showing you the back ass. So here's the Police, Synchronicity, another fantastic album. This one's by the Police. When I say this is one of my favorite albums of all time of the Police, I have 3 albums that I absolutely love, and it would be Synchronicity, Ghost in the Machine, and Regatta de Blanc. Those are my 3 favorite albums by the Police. So I'm 1 out of 3 so far. Very happy to have it. Thanks, Chris Barrett. Glad you like it, even though it didn't have any Tom Jones. All right. I saw them on that tour. Oh, wow. Fantastic. That is, I'm envious of that, sir. So I would love to see them. Well, I would have loved to see them, especially on this tour. That would have been amazing. So on this album, we have on. Oh, here's the back ass of it. You see that again? I left these stickers on just to remind myself what I paid, but I'll probably be taking them off once I get them in there. My lights. So we have on side 1, Synchronicity. 1, walking in your footsteps. Oh God, Mother, which is not a great song, but it's funny, but it's not great. Miss Grudenko, Are You Safe? Synchronicity 2, and on side 2 you have Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, Wrapped Around Your Finger, and Tea in the Sahara, which is just a beautiful, nice rhythmic song. I love that. Fair enough, Chris. What a nice guy. And we're getting happy hello for your Sundays from Horizon Picks. Thank you. There you go. All right. Next up, we have an album I was really excited for. Didn't turn out so great, but it was Discovery by ELO. And another one of our favorite things, unnecessary gatefold, especially when that's the only image that we ended up with. So, oh well. And then it's actually a wraparound cover. So you see the full image there. All right. And this one has Shine a Little Love, Confusion, Need Her Love, I Need Her Love, The Diary of Horace Wimp, Last Train to London, Midnight Blue, On the Run, Wishing, and Don't Bring Me Down. Good stuff. Monday, depending. That's fair. That's true. Depending on where you're at, might be Sunday, might be Monday. But yes, this album is, again, you guys know I'm a huge ELO fan, so anything ELO I'm going to pick up. But you can almost see from the jacket how jacked up it is. And the disc is completely warped beyond playability. It's pretty bad. So here is, you get a nice flyer tell you about the albums that are out thus far. And you have some girls donning some ELO merch. Thank you again. And then here you have some band picks, which is funny because now ELO is basically just Jeff Lynne. And you can really tell because the drums aren't there. They're not strong enough. And it doesn't have, it has a good sound, but it doesn't have where you have master musicians playing their specific instrument saying this would be better like this and providing input. It's missing that. And then, of course, you have the lyrics on the back. But this album, of course, is not missing that at all. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Good to have you there, sir. Let's see. I was always curious about weird song names like Synchronicity 2, Revolution 9, and Funk Number 49. Yeah, I hear you. Let's see. I just put a sinker weight on your level arm. That's not going to work. So the problem with the warp on my particular record player, it's a function of the record player. Which, by the way, this album was very cheap, and it was noted on with a sticker that said slight warp. So I really appreciate that. And you can still play it, but you can kind of hear the warp. And one song it just skips in an endless loop. And the reason is, and I've said it before, my tone arm, I don't have an expensive record player. I have what I consider to be the best record player under $150. So but one of the main problems is that the tone arm and the stylus are almost even with each other. So only the needle is dropped below. So what happens is that you would have to, so as soon as the warp comes under the tone arm, it raises it up and the needle just lifts right up. And then when it drops back down, you end up in an endless loop. Just keeps dropping back down in the same spot. So no, the pennies aren't going to make a difference. I tried pressing this 3 or 4 times, but after near melting my Rolling Stones album, I didn't want to chance it because it's still playable. And I'll wait until I get a replacement, and then I'll keep pressing it to see if I can get it just right. And I got it pressed enough without damaging it at all to where all but one song will play. So that was really, before both sides didn't play for about 3 songs each. So it was almost the whole album wouldn't play, but now it will. So Chris Barrett offered me to put pennies on my, it's not that. I have a counterbalance weight, so I don't have to worry about that. I can weight it down as much as I want, but it's not that. It's just the tone arm design. It's a poorly designed tone arm, but it only comes into effect on a warped record. So at that point, do I replace my record player because I got a bad record? It seems counterintuitive. It seems like I should just make sure I always get flat records and store them properly, and then I'll never have a problem. So that's what I'm going to do. Next, we got, so that was the last one from the Mellow Mats in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So thanks to them for that. It was a fantastic shop, fantastic experience. We had a great time and super nice guys. And they gave me a deal on the Busted Up records. And one of them they even gave me for free. So really, really good guys. Next, also there was a scratch on the Breakfast in America album, and they let me play it. They played it on their record to make sure that the scratch didn't pop up, and it didn't. Like you couldn't even hear it. So it was a very light scratch. So it worked out. Next is the haul from the flea market, Kentucky flea market that I went to on Saturday with the whole family. We had a great time, and they ditched me because I kept stopping at all the comics and record booths, and there were a ton of each. It was amazing. There was tons of records available and tons of comics available. I was shocked. There was even a Golden Age specific comic booth, which I have yet to even see one in my local convention that I'll be going to next week. So amazing. So here we have Huey Lewis in the News. Picture this. So this is, I think, the follow-up album to Sports, and it's pretty good. It's not as good as Sports, but it does have Change of Heart, Tell Me a Little Lie, Giving It All Up for Love, Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do, and Working for a Living. Oh, whoa. Then we have Do You Believe in Love, Is It Me, and Whatever Happened to True Love, The Only One, and Buzz, Buzz, Buzz. So there you go. There's the back. Cover within a cover there, right? Some more Chrysalis label here. And this one did not have, it has a generic inner sleeve, so we won't show that. And then there's a generic album. So, and the Chrysalis albums seem to be pretty thin. Like most of them so far have been pretty thin. But anyway, there you go. Huey Lewis. I like Huey Lewis. You know, kind of a throwback ditty writer. So good stuff. If you like it, you'll like that one. If you like sports, you'll probably like this one, although it's not as good. Next up, this one I already had to put in the My Light because it played perfectly, and I'm going to keep playing it over and over again, so I better go ahead and take care of it. And it is El Dorado by ELO. And this one is, it says a symphony by the Electric Light Orchestra, and it truly is. Like, I know that there's a couple of songs you can pull out of here and make a hit of, if you will, but overall, this album is completely just a listening start to finish. It's beautiful. It's gapless. You just want to listen to the whole thing, and you'll be rewarded. It's an absolutely fantastic album. Probably for a straight listening experience, to me, this is similar to Dark Side of the Moon, where you just put it on, you listen to it all the way through. Not a good one to mix in with other music. Then I would say that this is probably my favorite straight listening album of ELO. Whereas Time probably is my favorite, mixable album, even though it's a fantastic listening one as well. So let's get to the words, to the songs here. We got El Dorado Overture, Can't Get It Out of My Head, Boy Blue, Laredo Tornado, Poor Boy, and on side 2 we have Mr. Kingdom, Nobody's Child, Illusions in G Major, El Dorado, and El Dorado Finale. Yeah, very cool Wizard of Oz stuff. And then they repeat the front cover on the back. And I'll go ahead and show you the inside jacket, because this does not have the old infamous unnecessary gatefold, but it does have a nice little band picture for the inside there, and then words on the reverse, which is actually pretty helpful, because it's funny, but this is one of those albums that I've listened to it a million times and I still don't know all the words to the songs, because it's not really that kind of album, where you just play it and sing along in your car or anything like that. It's much more of an experience. So huge to have this in my collection. Absolutely love it. Thank you to the vinyl gods for putting this in my way, and at a super fair price. Prices at this Kentucky flea market were very fair. There was only one jerk with whom I picked out a couple of great albums and walked away with them because he was just a jerk. Sometimes you just can't deal with people. So I can't roll my herbal Nope, can't roll your herbal supplements without a gatefold cover. But speaking of people who are using various types of supplements to keep his model wives, we got Rod Stewart with Camouflage. Another fantastic album by Rod Stewart. This one and Blondes Have More Fun are my two favorite albums. I think he's got another one out there, but I can't think of what it is that I'm on the hunt for. But I'll know it when I see it. And these are just great ones. So let's see what it comes out to. Side 1, we have Infatuation. And then we have All Right Now. Some Guys Have All the Luck. Can We Still Be Friends? And on side 2, we have Bad for You, Heart Is on the Line, Camouflage, and Trouble. So really good. Nice segue. Yeah, herbal supplements. So Rod Stewart, Camouflage, featuring the hit single Infatuation. And this is a hype sticker that someone stuck to there. So I might try and get it off, but it looks nice and greasy on there. I bet it would ruin it if I try to get it off. So I'll just put it inside the My Light like this, more than likely. So, all right. Can't see colors. Well, I mean, this is helpful. All right. So there we go. Love this album, and it played really well. And it's got a lot of earworm songs in there where you'd be listening to it in your head. And what's that you said? The police are coming. Hey, Ghost in the Machine. I couldn't believe finding this just a week after finding Synchronicity, but super psyched. And the jacket's fantastic for a black jacket. Look at that. That's like brand new. And this didn't have any kind of, I'm seeing my own fingerprints on it right now. That's how little it's been touched. And I've played it 3 times since I got it Saturday. And take AE. Oh gosh, no. Right off to work. All right. Thank you so much, Martin, for joining us. Man, this jacket's so clean. Unreal. I can't believe it. I mean, I have like white jackets that are beat up more than this, and you can see all the spine ticks and such. So here we have Spirits in the Material World. Fantastic song. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. Invisible Sun. Hungry for You. Demolition Man. And on side 2, we have Too Much Information. Rehumanize Yourself. One World, not 3. Omega Man. Secret Journey. And Darkness. Fantastic. You see the faces on the cover? What faces? I don't see them. Are they faces? I don't know. You'll have to explain it to me. But to me, it looks. And my son had walked in and he'd never seen this before. Oh, last album. Okay, gotcha. And he walked in. He was like, "Looks like Predator digits, like when the Predator puts on his little arm thing and blows up." Spoiler for those who haven't seen Predator yet or any of the follow-ups. And here's pretty cool inside jacket. Just some more artwork. And then there's some faces hiding the Ghost in the Machine. So the symbols are band faces. I can't see them. I'll have to watch a video that explains that to me or something. But in any case, yeah, I guess if that's Sting in the middle, I could see that with the hair. But fantastic. Who said that? I'll give him credit. Chris Barrett says that. So very cool. Ghost in the Machine. Great album. Absolutely great album. Here's one. Let's see if Simon pops up. He's not here yet. But here's some Aussie favorites. Here's Men at Work. And actually, I left this one in the plastic just because didn't have another one yet. And I couldn't get the sticker off it. So the middle is Sting. I thought it was. All right. And here's Men at Work with Cargo. And here's side 1, Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive. That's one of my favorite songs of theirs. Overkill, which is also really good. Settle Down, My Boy. Upstairs in My House. And then No Sign of Yesterday. And on side 2, It's a Mistake. Good stuff. High Wire. Blue for You. I Like To. And No Restrictions. So really, really good ones. He's still talking about the Sting album. The drummer is on the end, not under the name. Okay, fair enough. So there you go. Cargo by Men at Work. Here's the back. Looking out at a little thing there. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on here on the little island. Cargo ship being dropped. And this one does have a decorated inner sleeve. So here is the band. And then here are the lyrics. Love the lyrics. I really like it when they come with lyrics. I know these days you can probably, look up the lyrics pretty easily, but it's part of the fun of vinyl to me when to play it. I have my little now spinning area right there where I display the actual album art while I'm playing the album. And then I like to take out the inner sleeve and bring it up here and look at it and inspect it and read some of the lyrics, and some of them sing along. So always good. So let's see. Land Down Under. Absolutely. Is that where you come from? The Land Down Under? No, that's not where you come from. All right. This next album is one of those Las Cruces is sending me all kinds of stuff on how to read the you guys are too good to me. Thank you so much. So this next album is weird. But it is what it is. I just remembered it and I couldn't pass it. I've been looking for a good copy of it, and it's Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. And this album, you could do a whole video on this album alone. It's so funky. So it only has 2 songs, and they're both the same, Thick as a Brick, on side 1 and 2. So it's basically just one whole album with one song on it. And then it has a really, really funky design. So you can see it looks like a newspaper, and it is. So, so let's pop this open so you guys can get a better look at it. We'll take it out of its My Light for this purpose. So you see, it actually has kind of a newspapery feel to it as well. And when you open it, it is a functioning gatefold, like it has things you might want. And then the whole bottom opens up like this and closes back. So now it's the actual size of a, no aqualung on this one. So now it's the actual size of a newspaper, and it's readable. So this is the front, the newspaper, and then it goes to here. And then let's see if I can do it without damaging it, because that was the whole point of getting this. And each page is legible, and each page is in really good condition. And it goes on, and they're all there. So that was huge for me, because I have been wanting this album in this kind of condition and hadn't been able to find one that wasn't heavily damaged, as often they are. Usually this has some stains, but not like they usually are. Usually it has water and coffee and all kinds of stuff all over it. And then, of course, standard black here, and nothing else for an inner sleeve. But very, very cool album. The music is really good. I've always enjoyed the album. But the coolest thing about it is the actual album jacket, in my opinion. So I kind of had to have it in my collection. I've passed up, you see this album quite a bit, actually. And I've passed up on maybe 3 or 4 copies of this already in the past couple months. I passed up picking it up because the newspaper wasn't in good condition. And the few that I had found that where the newspaper was in good condition, they wanted like $20 for it. I'm not paying $20 for this. I think I paid like $4 for this. So I was really happy. If it's not coffee, since it's a newspaper, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So there you go. Fantastic stuff. Thick as a brick. Then we picked up Cars Greatest Hits. Now, what's funny is that I had this album when I was younger, and I had forgotten which one it was. And every time we looked at a Cars album, I kept saying, that's not it. That's not the one. And I didn't know that I had a Greatest Hits. I had forgotten that. So this one still has some cellophane on it. But again, I'll be putting all these in my lights when I get a fresh stock in. So this one has a very cool back cover where it has all the cars on it. And this one has just what I needed. Since You're Gone, You Might Think, Good Times Roll, Touch and Go, Drive, which is just, it's amazing. Tonight, She Comes, My Best Friend's Girl, Let's Go, and I'm Not the One. So good, really good stuff. Fantastic album. I mean, you're not missing anything. This album's got them all. And then here is the ugliest band you've ever seen. I don't know. There's some really ugly ones out there. But here you go. Rough stuff. And they're all kind of ugly in the same way. And there you go. So very cool that they bothered to give us a printed inner sleeve on a Greatest Hits album. So very nice of them to do that. And then we have some questions here in the chat. Let's see if we can figure out what they're asking. And let's see if we can get that put back in without damaging too much. Yep, we did. Hey. All right. How do you know that isn't a reprint? Are we talking about the newspaper? It says first print on it, so we're good. All right. Next, we have Oldies But Goodies. This one is a compilation album. But look at that 90s foil goodness, and it's not even the 90s. Have you ever seen Guar? Oh, as far as the ugly, I hear you. No, you're right. There's some definitely uglier bands out there. Oldies But Goodies, Volume 11. My goodness, how many Oldies But Goodies could you possibly have already up to Volume 11? Or maybe it's Volume 2. But it just has 2 ones. I said that should be an 11. Here's the backside, just information. So let's read them off to you. Got side 1. It says the dreamy side, and it has Soul and Inspiration by the Righteous Brothers, Going Out of My Head by Anthony and the Imperials, Sunny by Bobby Head or Hebe or Heb. I don't know. My Guy by Mary Wells. Traces, and my wife does a nice little dance to My Guy. That was awesome. I started playing it, and here she comes slinking in the room. So a very lucky man. 10 Commandments of Love by Traces by Classic 4. 10 Commandments of Love by Harvey and the Moon Glows. And on side 2 is the rock side. So let's see what they got for us. Tutti Frutti by Little Richard. Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. Maybelline by Chuck Berry. My Boyfriend's Back by the Angels. And Little Darlin' by the Diamonds. And Expressway to Your Heart by the Soul Survivors. So there you go with the foil goodness. This one didn't have an inner sleeve at all, so I had to cannibalize another old record to get one. So, but it just has a standard, very standard looking album in black vinyl. So pretty cool. I like some of the older music, and that was just a couple bucks, so had to grab it. Next, we have the J. Giles Band with Love Stinks. This is the follow-up to their last album that I showed, Freeze Frame. And this has some great songs on it too. And this is, if you're only going to get 2 J. Giles Band albums, you want to get Freeze Frame and Love Stinks in that order if you can help it. It's like a list of stuff I karaoke. Nice. We should put that on there. We'd love to see that. So on side 1, I have Just Can't Wait, Come Back, Taking You Down, Nighttime, and No Anchovies, Please, which isn't even a song. That's like great sophomore album. See, that's what Joey's saying. Great sophomore album, but that means their freshman album was their first hit album, real hit album, because they had like 7 albums before Freeze Frame and then this one. So they were real, long producing music, just not hit music. So then on side 2, you have Love Stinks, Trying Not to Think About It, Desire, Please Don't Turn Away, and Till the Walls Come a-Tumbling Down. So great stuff. Really, it's a fantastic album. I really like it. So pick up that one, pick up this one. And on the back, you have some kind of like kid stuff there, which looks pretty cool. And this one did have a decorated inner sleeve. It's just really fun to look through and enjoy. Lots of weird stuff on that. So this has a lot of good little nuggets here of fun to look at the inner sleeve. So I like when they do that. I like when they give you a little bit of trivia and weird things to play with while you're listening to the album. And last, and maybe least in some ways, but still exciting in others. So you guys may know that my son is a big Beatles fan. So the Beatles have not entered my collection other than by which of 45 RPMs, but they've not made an LP debut in my collection. And the main reason for that is because I kind of feel bad picking up one when I know that he'll want it, and then possibly he'll act bad when he sees that I got it. So if it's one he doesn't already have, he can, he's at that age where he's a little bit competitive collecting wise. So, which is fine. I'm not complaining, but for that reason, I've stayed back from collecting Beatles albums. We were there. He was there. I pulled out the album. It was one he didn't have, but it was the disc only. All there was a disc inside of a plastic. There you go. Beatles are my favorite. It was just a disc inside of a plastic sleeve. It was actually an outer sleeve too. So you could tell it was going to be rough. There were quite a few scratches. It looked like it had been played to death, but it did look flat, which is the album has to be flat in order for this record player to play it. It's got to be flat. So I went ahead and picked it up. He didn't want it. It was only $3. And then when we got to pay for it, the guy just let me have it for free. So basically it was a free album, and it was Revolver by the Beatles. But like I said, didn't have a jacket. So I had to do a little BUB'S homemade artwork on it. So here is my copy of Revolver by the Beatles. And here's the back. So what I did is that I bought a stock of black album jackets. So that's what this is. And I also found an unused inner sleeve that I had. And you can see it's just it's the Capitol Records version, standard black. Man, I hate those ones that have the circle in the middle, because you can't really put them back in without taking out the whole thing. Phew. All right. And then I just kind of printed out, because it's a black and white cover. So I just printed out a simple page here, trim the edges to make it square, and did the same for the back cover. And so there you go. There's my issue of Revolver. It was free, other than the paper I printed and the jacket, which was a big batch of them when I bought them. And the reason I had bought those jackets was not because I ever intended to end up with something that was disc only, but because when I buy the picture disc albums, they often come in just like a plastic sleeve, and they're very hard to keep, and those sleeves are hard on it to get it in and out. So I want to have jackets for them, and someday I'll show you what I did for those. But I took all my picture discs and I made homemade jackets for them, and so you could see the image. So I'll show you that some other time. So I had a bunch of those left over. So here we go. So there you go. Beatles Revolver. And on this album, we have Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, I'm Only Sleeping, Love You Too, Here, There, and Everywhere, Yellow Submarine, She Said, and on side 2, you have Good Day, Sunshine, And Your Bird Can Sing, For No One, and Dr. Robert, I Want to Tell You, Got to Get You Into My Life, and Tomorrow Never Knows. So there you go. Thank you. Appreciate that, Joey Bags. So there's my Beatles album. So the Beatles hit the collection. Like I said, I had not been picking them up because of my son, but now it's on full bore. So there you go. If I can get him like that, he won't be jealous of it because it didn't play that well anyway. But you can listen to it, but it does have a lot of scratches and pops and clicks and things. You could tell it was well loved. All right, so let's go through them. We had, boy, I'm so good at getting these done in an hour. I just gotta say, it's not easy, but you gotta keep that pace going. All right, so so there's Revolver by the Beatles. So with some handiwork by old Bubs here. You got J. Giles Band with Love Stinks. You got Oldies But Goodies, various artists, volume 11. You got The Cars, Greatest Hits by The Cars. You have Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. Thanks, Las Cruces. Appreciate it. You got Cargo by Men at Work. Ghost in the Machine by The Police. Apparently, that's Sting. And you have Camouflage by Rod Stewart. That's a really good album. You have El Dorado by Electric Light Orchestra on my Grail list. So check that one off. Huey Lewis in the News was Picture This. Get Discovery by Electric Light Orchestra, which is also on my list and still on my list because this one is too warped. But we'll keep looking. I actually had another copy in my hands and put it back because the seller was a jerk at the flea market. So the hunt continues. Synchronicity by The Police. Another Grail album. Supertramp, Breakfast in America. This one's probably going to get played when the stream's over because I play it often. Or maybe this one. Another Grail album. J. Giles Band with Freeze Frame. Leonard Skinner, Gold and Platinum. Probably going to be replacing this one too because I just don't care for the live stuff and it's not all live and they should have put that on the jacket. So still on the hunt for a good Leonard Skinner compilation. Rolling Stones with Through the Past Darkly, Big Hits, Volume 2 with the funky jacket there. Rock Menu, just some Chrysalis hits from the label, so fun stuff. And another album that's still on the list, even though I now have a copy, but I basically melted this one. And we have Sticky Fingers, still playable, and I still do play it. But there you go. Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. So there you go. That's my vinyl haul. I hope you all appreciated that. If there's anything that I didn't show that you want me to show or that you think I should pick up, as always, put them in the comments below so that I can research it later. Even if you've put it in the chat here tonight, if there's something that I missed or you want me to know about, just put it in the comments below so I can check it again when I go back. Because every now and then I'm like, I need to pick up an album, and I'll go back through some of these suggestions and see if there's one available. So that's it. I hope you all appreciate and enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. We've been kind of making this a late night Sunday thing. We might bump the time up a little bit so people don't have to stay up so late. But I figure holiday weekends, we might get some more. Tom Jones. All right. We hear you, CB. I like Tom Jones, so that might happen. Hey, Adrian, Panda Awesome, what's going on? Good to have you here. Appreciate you. We're shutting it down, but catch it on the replay and maybe next Sunday night. It's been kind of a thing doing Sunday night. So thank you so much to everyone who came in, who joined us. Go through the list, but I know Chris was here and Las Cruces and Aggressively Relaxing was here. So very nice. Thank you for joining us. We had Agu and Chad and Martin was here and Christina and Horizon Picks was here and Dave Collects was here. Art Chemist dropped in. You guys were really, Perry was here for a minute. Thank you so much to all of you for joining and for being a part of this. Really been enjoying collecting all this stuff. We'll catch you guys later. And remember to listen to a record and don't apologize for the bulge. Bye-bye.